Hello, I'm Deb. I'm Turning Point Safer Lives lead, and I want to talk to you about some recent changes in the UK drug supply, which has led to some accidental overdoses and unfortunately some deaths, and to look at what you can do to avoid this happening to both you and to your mates. So you may have already heard about nitazines. You may have heard people talking about them. So nitazines are a group of synthetic opioids, a bit like fentanyl, but they can be hundreds of times stronger than heroin. And this means that you only need to take a tiny amount and the results could be fatal. So in the UK, they've been found in heroin, but also in drugs such as Xanax, oxycodone tablets, and even in spice. And without testing your drugs, there's absolutely no way of knowing if they contain a nitazine. You can't tell just by looking at them. And this means that if you use your normal drug and you use the normal amount that you're used to, and they contain a nitazine, your chances of overdose are really high. So what can you do to reduce the risk of overdose? First of all, carry naloxone. If you don't already, get in touch with your local service and get trained. And also make sure that you carry enough. So recent overdoses have needed multiple doses to reverse the overdose. And avoid using alone. I know that's not always possible, but if you can, be around other people, or if you can ask someone to check in on you, and start with a smaller dose. So take a little bit, wait a while to see what the effects are. You can always take more later. And if you currently inject drugs, maybe consider smoking them. And look after your mates. If you're using with somebody else, maybe one of you go first so the other one can watch over them and then call for help if that's needed. And become familiar with the signs of an overdose. So first of all, if someone's unresponsive, so that means if you shake their shoulder or say their name really loudly and they still don't wake up, if their breathing is shallow or they're not breathing or they're making a strange kind of snoring noise, and if they look pale or their lips and fingernails are grey or blue, call 999 straight away and give them naloxone. Doesn't matter if they haven't used an opioid, it won't do any harm. And this is a big one. If you use opiates, get yourself onto a script. I'm not saying you have to make a decision now that you're going to stop using drugs. Even if you're still using, being on the correct dose of methadone or buprenorphine will reduce the risk that you overdose when you do use. And if you do overdose, it reduces the risk that you might die. If you're not sure, give your local service a call and have a chat with someone, explore what your options are. So, remember, carry naloxone and make sure you know how to use it. Look after your mates and get yourself on a script, because overdoses are avoidable. Take care and thanks for listening.